Everyone, Liked Out 7 here with some Week 7 fantasy takeaways. So we're going to do one takeaway from each game, and we'll start with Denver at Cleveland Thursday Night Football. So my biggest takeaway for the Denver-Cleveland game is Dearness Johnson is going to be a flex until Kareem Hunt comes back. It's a very good chance Nick Chubb's back for Week 8, but it doesn't matter because Dearness Johnson has shown enough to keep that role, and I think you can flex him. Cincinnati at Baltimore. My biggest takeaway here is actually to buy T. Higgins. I think a lot of people will be focusing on Chase. Obviously, the running game's working well. Everything's working well in Cincinnati, but Higgins is not really producing the numbers we thought he would be, even though the target shares jumped back up to 15 targets this week. So that's something I'm looking at as a buy low option. Washington at Green Bay, bit of a strange kind of Green Bay didn't have the ball much in this game, but my biggest takeaway really is that Antonio Gibson is now really kind of game script dependent. If you're going to start him, I think he's going to be a flex usually in any situation, but really, to step into that RB2 or where you drafted him, Washington are going to have to win the game or be heavy favourites. So yeah, McKissick's on the field a lot more than we thought, I think. Atlanta at Miami next game. I think my biggest takeaway here is C-Pat or Cordell Patterson is a weekly start, regardless of matchups, and Mike Davis can be dropped. New York Jets at New England. My biggest takeaway for this game really was what's happening with the running backs in New England. Ramondre Stevenson was a healthy and active. Bolden, you've seen what we saw what he could do with the targets. I think you can play Bolden or Ramondre, whoever's active out of those two. I think JJ Taylor is a clear backup to Damian Harris, but the receiving work will lie with Bolden or Ramondre. If they're both active, I don't think you play any of them because Bill will just mess around with you, as he likes to do. Carolina and New York Giants. I think it's time to worry on DJ Moore. I'm going to put it out there now. So his numbers have been steady, not getting into the end zone because the offense has stuttered for the last 3 weeks. Now with a bit of maybe a quarterback change on the cards. I know they said they're starting Darnold for the future, but that's probably not good news for the offense, if I'm honest. It's time to worry for DJ Moore. Kansas City at Tennessee. If you ever wanted a buy low option, or if there ever was a buy low option for any of the Chiefs, this is probably it. So Hill, Kelsey, even Mahomes, if you can get them. But really, you can kind of throw this game out, hopefully, as a one-off for the Chiefs, although they don't look anything like they did last year, let's be honest. Julio, I don't think you can play him anymore until he shows us something otherwise. He's getting, 2 or 3 catches for 40 yards and the touchdowns are not there, as we know with Julio Jones in the past. So it's a bit of a shame because he's my favourite receiver of all time, probably, or one of. But, he can't play him right now. So it's a sad moment for Julio Jones. Philadelphia at Las Vegas. Interesting game, this one. But Edwards and Ruggs. So my takeaway here is Bryan Edwards and Ruggs. I thought, the target share would increase with Darren Waller out. But actually, the offense stayed exactly the same, and Foster Moreau just stepped in Darren Waller. And that kind of tells me that they're ceiling maybe 4 or 5 catches a game. And I was really looking. I know Edwards got into the end zone this week, but I wouldn't be scared to play him again. And Ruggs disappeared when Waller wasn't out. Well, when Waller wasn't there. So that gives me a bit of hesitancy there as well. So yeah. Not loving the wide receiver options for Las Vegas. So Detroit and LA Rams was probably one of the most exciting games of the weekend, which says it all really for week 7. But DeAndre Swift is completely kind of game proof. He's going to play. He's probably going to be the top 4 or 5 running backs when it's all said and done, especially in PPR. 10 targets a game. None of the receivers are stepping up for Detroit. Khalif Raymond flashed a little bit, but then got hurt. Tyrell Williams probably will be back soon, but none of that's going to stop Swift and Hockenson being the focal point of this offense. Houston, Arizona, this pains me to say this one, but I think it's time to sell Chase Edmonds. Zach Ertz coming to Arizona just muddies it even more, and I'd be worried about Target, for all the pass catchers, especially Chase Edmonds, so sell if you can. Chicago at Tampa Bay, it was Sunday afternoon, Lenny, I guess, still performing, and A-Rob can be dropped comfortably and without hesitation. Indianapolis at San Francisco. Weird game in the rain, but we did call the Michael Pittman breakout, and it happened. Nyheim Hines can be dropped safely as well if you're looking for some roster space. New Orleans at Seattle was an awful game to watch and be a part of, I can imagine. I would say that the receivers in this game, Lockett can't be played at the moment, and that was proven on Monday night. Metcalf needs that big catch, and he was lucky. The receivers from New Orleans probably even worse. So my takeaway there is, I don't know about any of the receivers in those teams going forward. As in, I wouldn't play either of them. Anyway, that's it. Week 7 in the books. Week 8 waiver wire coming soon. Stay tuned. Bye.